When days like this are out, Commissioner Gordon in the sports world sends out a beam where everyone in the sports world sees the big S and they go, big sales, big sales, big sales. Look, I see it. There it is. When there's news, yours truly's here. Look at this. There it is. It's the bat signal for big sales. There must be news in the world of sports. That's what they do. How you doing? Holy cow. Always news. When it concerns the Philadelphia Eagles and when it concerns the NFC East, Dallas Cowboys. By the way, Battle Royale is back at 4:30. Mark Holmes with some good news finally. There was a trade between the Steelers and the Cowboys. George Pickens is now part of the best trio in passing in the NFC East. No question about it. I mean, Dak healthy and back makes that trio the best passing offense in the NFC. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the best unit and deliver the best results. But you can't be 30th and say you're better than the Cowboys when your guy finished 20th last year in every statistic known to man. We ran the ball, Sills. I know. I'm not saying that the kid's not talented. I'm saying that's who you are. Now, is that going to deliver a Super Bowl for the Cowboys? Absolutely not. We'll get to that in a minute here. However, Philadelphia Eagles taking a gigantic shitori on Dallas Goedert. Asking the man to take a pay cut who helped deliver a Super Bowl to your team a year ago. Basically, what they did was they took the Howie Roseman trousers down and right on Dallas Goedert's face. They told him to take a $4.5 million pay cut if you want to come back. The Eagles were never bringing that guy back. Dallas Goedert had to relent. He had to relent and take a pay cut if he wanted to play in the Eagles. Now, let me give you this from Dallas Goedert's spot. And if you're a player, this is by far a great deal for the Eagles. Everyone's debating that. It's a great deal for the team. You got a really good football player at a discount. Okay. No one's ripping them or the Eagles for that. Here's Goedert's angle if this were me. Okay? If this were me, I'd be saying this. Do I want to take $3.5 million or $4 million on the open market in Carolina, Tennessee, some bad team? Or do I want to take that scalp and do I want to take a $4.5 million pay cut, come back for 1 year and do a Javon Hargrave, a Josh Sweat, a Milton Williams, have a great year and go on the open market and make myself some big money in a last 3-year contract? It's probably in the best interest, if you're the agent in Dallas Goedert, that you do that. Who wants to go to a place where you have no shot in the world at winning? And if you don't have a shot at winning, and if you get hurt in a place that you don't win, your market value will go down even more. His market value will not diminish in Philadelphia because the Eagles are pretty much almost guaranteed to have a good season this coming year unless, God forbid, something happens when it comes to the injury on the personnel or the roster. So for me, I would come back and I would say, hey, look, do I like the $4.5 million pay cut? Writing's on the wall. 2025 is the last football season for Dallas Goedert in Philadelphia. And it gives them more time to figure it out on both sides. Dallas gets to have a good season, show what he's going to become and what he means to an offense. This is basically going to be an audition for him for 17 weeks. So it's the proper move to do. This is the right move. for him. My market value will not diminish playing in Philly. My market value will diminish if I get hurt or have a shitty year because the quarterback situation is not resolved in Carolina or someplace that doesn't have a good quarterback. Your market value goes down, and then you're really talking about putting uphill to try to find yourself a 3-year contract in a team that it fits. So again, I think he did the right thing. Again, the Eagles had no intentions of re-signing that player. Why? Look at the money. Tells you flat out. Told the kid to take a $4.5 million pay cut if you want to play here. Okay. Eagles win this. They totally do. Team-friendly deal. Awful for the player, but Dallas Goedert said there's a premium on winning. So he said that that's probably in the best interest for me. It's not a bad move. You don't want to take haircuts late in your career or once you start getting on the back 9 of your career, but you got to start making some decisions on what you want to do, and especially since this is an audition. 2025 is about an audition for Dallas Goedert. It's the right move. Super Chats go to the top. Please hit that like button. Dallas Goedert ain't going anywhere. How you doing? No, absolutely. Did the right thing. You absolutely took a shit on him, but hey, they had the leverage. And so the Eagles took a shit on him. A guy who led the Eagles in receptions during the playoffs, you took a shit on him. Okay? No, I wasn't wrong. Goedert was never coming back unless he took a pay cut. Absolutely. No, it's the right thing for the player. It's the right thing. And the Eagles took a shit on him. Did they not? Did they not take a shit on him? Yes or no? Because I remember yesterday you said the tush push will be gone. Do you believe that will be their plan B? Hey, look, man, I don't believe the tush push should be gone, but I think end of the month they're going to vote that thing out of the league. Devontae Smith took a haircut. Bro, Devontae Smith got an extension. This is not an extension. Okay? This is a 1-year deal. This is not an extension. Don't act like it. It's a 1-year, hey, we're going to do it 1 more year. And we're going to move on. This is not a contract extension. Don't make it seem like it is. Good for the Eagles had the leverage. They used it, and they took a shit on them. Take a pay cut. You want to come back? Take the pay cut. I mean, I don't know any other way to look at it. Still says, an Eagle fan, I like it when they take on the identity like the Broad Street Bullies. Absolutely. And that's what they're going to do this year, too. They're going to run the shit out of the ball. Okay? Hey, they were never bringing this player back unless he took a pay cut. Look at the deal he just signed. It's $4.5 million less. They took a crap on the player. Did they not? Did they not? They took a gigantic crap on him. How do you not look at it that way? If your boss comes to you and says, I want you to take a pay cut, and you're delivering and you're playing well, and you were one of the reasons why the passing game did anything in the postseason, you think that's a good thing? Spinning what? He took a pay cut. Spinning what? It's a 1-year contract. They're moving on after this. Or they would have given him, and basically, he took a 30% pay cut. to come back and play. How are you not looking at it any other way than that? Wrong about what? That the Eagles were bringing him back in the current financial situation he was in yesterday? I'm not wrong. Big Sill's right again. How you doing? You should take your pants down and just take a Dallas Goedert. That's what we're going to start calling it. They took a giant Dallas, wiped their Goedert. Sills, you swore he was gone. I did. I thought he wouldn't take the pay cut. He did. Gave him a 1-year contract, and he's back. Huh. Wow, what a gigantic shit the Eagles took on Dallas Goedert. Woo! Unbelievable. Let's get to the Cowboy deal. George Pickens, now a member of the Dallas Cowboys. I like Pryor for the other guard. Dude, for weeks you said he was gone. I did. He took a fucking pay cut. Nobody takes a pay cut. You're damn right. They bullied him into a pay cut. Congratulations. I thought you reward players for doing their job. It's all right. I mean, you guys can spin it any way you want. You ask the player, and remember what Howie even said? We're not there. Pay cut. Took a shit on Goedert. Keep him coming. Pay cut. Took a shit on Goedert. Facts. Pay cut. Took a shit on Goedert. He was never coming back unless he relented and took a pay cut. You could spin it any way you want. Dallas Goedert was asked to take less money if you want to be here. End of story. So let's take a look at this deal now. George Pickens going to the Dallas Cowboys. Pickens to the Cowboys. Let's take a look at this deal. Cowboys and Steelers have made a trade. They will send George Pickens to the Cowboys in exchange for a third rounder and a late round swap. I mean, one thing I'll say to you about this move, I don't understand the DK Metcalf move. I mean, if you make a trade for that and you haven't done anything at quarterback except Will Howard and Mason Rudolph, I'm not really getting this DK Metcalf trade. I would assume that you wanted to have somebody on the other side of Metcalf that would have been a competent wide receiver. I'm just not getting that. Get this, $10 million to play 10 games. Good deal. Took a shit on Goedert, $4.5 million. Pay cut. Any way you want to slice it up, Mikey, pay cut. Hey, you could spin it to make it sound any way you want. I'm telling you reality. When a player looks at his paycheck and a 30% less than what it was a year ago, it's called a pay cut. Seeing Pickett to Dallas, I wish we kept Slay. Let's take a look at this. So, I threw this out there. Dallas now adds another wide receiver on the other side of CeeDee Lamb. Can't always be right, Sills. I'm dead right. How you doing? Pay cut. Took a shit on him. The best passing offense in the NFC East is whom now? Let's see. You've got Deebo Samuel. You've got Terry McLaurin. And you've got Jaden Daniels. In Dallas, you've got CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens and Dak Prescott. In New York, I guess Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors, and then another dude. Last year, the Philadelphia Eagle quarterback was 20th in passing yards, 21st in TDs, 10th in taking sacks. Who has the best passing offense? 2903. The Cowboys do. Again, that doesn't always translate into winning Super Bowls, obviously. I'm asking you, the best passing offense is the Dallas Cowboys. The quarterback doesn't throw the ball. And if you want to add to you guys' narrative, the Eagles don't ask him to. Facts. Okay? I need facts. They don't ask him to. Why? Because they have Saquon Barkley. The Cowboys don't. If you listen to my words, who has the best offense? It's not Dallas. Dallas can't run the ball to save their life. They can't. The Eagles can throw the ball and run it with anybody in the league, if not the best. But as a passing offense, the Eagles are superior. I mean, the Eagles are not anywhere near the passing game of what now you have somebody on the other side. Okay? Seals, if I was wrong, I could have been right. So I'm not wrong because I could have been. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Nimrod. Pay cut. Shit on. Thank you. All right. Again, you're looking at two different things when we're saying this. Who's got the best offense in the NFC? The Eagles. Who's got the best passing game? By far, Dallas. It's not close. Well, Sills, did you see the Super Bowl? I know. He's not asked to be a passer. Not when you have Barkley. I didn't say Dallas had the best offense. Okay? Sills does a hell of a job transforming nobodies into great receivers. Pittsburgh does it. Oh, yes. Pittsburgh does a great. Hey, well, look what they've done. Antonio Brown. Go back in the days. John Stallworth. Hines Ward. Absolutely. George Pickens. I thought Pickens was pretty good at Georgia, actually. I did. Hit the like button. Hang on for a second here. Once again, you're getting butthurt, and I knew you would. Still, you don't know what Dak is coming off this injury, and he wasn't playing well before it. It's Washington. Okay, that could be. That could be. Washington could. It's what? Dude, if I were to rank the top passing games in the NFC East right now, it would be Dallas, Washington, and Philly. If I were to rank the best offenses, it'd be Philly, Washington, and Dallas. It's a different conversation. You're not the best at everything. You weren't a year ago. Stop acting like it. Seals, realistically, if we had a better passing quarterback, this offense would be the greatest show on turf. Ask yourself this, Kyle. If A.J. Brown had his pick of quarterbacks in Philly, you think he'd take Hurts over Joe Burrow or A.J. Brown? Do you? Nobody would. Quarterback was 20th in passing in every stat last year, except completion percentage, and he threw the ball 300 times. Dude, I'm not. Sills, Dak in a big game. You taking him? No. Absolutely not. No. But the Dallas Cowboys improved their passing game even more so. Guys, Dak's a better passer. Do you agree Dak Prescott's a better passing quarterback than Jalen Hurts? Yes or no? Is he a better passing quarterback? Yes or no? On a consistent basis. And does Dallas ask him to do that? Yes or no? Hurts is not a better passing quarterback. But that doesn't win Super Bowls. Why does anybody get hurt when the Cowboys are good at one thing? That's throwing the ball. But if that is what won Super Bowls, Kirk Cousins would have 6 of them. Dak is by far a better quarterback. Jalen has never done anything in the close. He'll never lead the NFL in passing touchdowns. He'll never lead the NFL in passing yards. No, that doesn't translate to Super Bowls. All I'm saying to you is right now, Pickens makes their offense. I'll take that back. Their passing offense elite. Why are you upset with this? You just won the fucking Super Bowl running it. What do you care if the Dallas Cowboys have a better passing game than you? What really do you care? Explain that to me. Why do you care? If Dallas is a better passing, right, who cares? Who cares? That, once again, Hurts will never do the things throwing the football that Dak has ever done. Ever. You couldn't wait to meet ride Dallas. How about this, Marshall? Once again, here's a guy with shit in his brains. Nobody said he didn't have the best offense. You just want to hear somebody glazing over you and bending over for you saying that Hurts is a better, superior quarterback. He's not. He's a good team quarterback. He's a really good one. Nobody's throwing shade on him here. Is Tom Brady a better passer than Aaron Rodgers? Fuck no. You guys get, man, your little panties in a bind. Nobody's throwing shade here. At the end of the day, Dak will still find a way. Absolutely. The playoffs are his kryptonite. No one's debating that. Hurts doesn't have to lead the league. No shit. Thank you. Okay. Stat Prescott can prove it in the playoffs. Okay. Absolutely. What are you guys getting upset about? The truth? Here's better quarterbacks throwing the ball than, let me give you this one. Here are quarterbacks that are better at throwing the football than Jalen Hurts. Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels, shit, maybe even Caleb Williams, Jordan Love. What does that have to do with February 9th? Nothing. Nothing. The best passing offense in the NFL's NFC is in Washington. Or it's in Dallas. Eagles don't ask their quarterback, like you said. I've been told this from Xander to everybody. Well, they didn't ask him to do it because they had Saquon Barkley. Okay. So why would you even be in that conversation then? Especially when you're 30th in passing. How are you better than those other teams throwing the ball? How are you better when you're not? You got shit on your brains. Dak will never hold. I never said he will. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Marshall. I really don't. Thank you for the super. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's not the conversation. We are falling for you. I'm not. You have a quarterback that throws for 4,500 yards, led the NFL in passing and passing touchdowns. You got a wide receiver who will be over 130 catches. You got another guy who will be over 1,100 yards. It's a better passing offense than you. That doesn't mean it's a better offense. I'm not going to keep making you feel good with these reach arounds. That's not what we're doing here. I was asked the question this morning, what does George Pickens do for the Dallas Cowboys? It improves their passing game immensely. Does that mean that they'll win more than 8 games? I don't know. They still got a lot of work to do on defense. And that's right. Absolutely. What are you upset about? That Dak's a better passer than Hurts? Why would you care? Why does it bother you that when you talk like this, you kind of expose what he is what you don't like about it? Well, wait, Sills, they're not asking him. I know. It's really the only team in the NFL that doesn't ask their quarterback to win games on a weekly basis. Okay. Sills, they won a Super Bowl. I know. Yeah, I'm not mad. Okay. You're not versatile. I don't know what you guys are. I think we're having 2 different conversations here. Sills, what offense would you rather have? The Eagles. Why? Well, because they run you over. Who's the better passing team? Dallas. Which offense would you rather have in the playoffs? Eagles. What are you guys talking about? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I like the trade for Pickens. If I'm Dallas, just keep it real. But Leon, you know why they're not going anywhere? They have no running game. They can't hang with Philly because Philly will run them over. But then you get guys like Marshall who want somebody and everybody to lie and tell you that Hurts is a better passer than Burrow or Dak or any of these other guys, and it ain't true. Here's what I'm talking about. Dak's a better passer than Jalen Hurts. Facts. He'll always be. So, John Elway was a better passer than Troy Aikman. What are you talking about? Why are you guys so upset? What? I don't know how. Let me see something here with Pickens. Okay, let me see something here. See, George Pickens. Pretty crazy how you guys are getting all bent for no reason. Nobody's telling you that you don't have the best offense in the NFC East. I don't know what you're talking about, actually. Let's see here. Pickens. 1,100 yards, 801, 900. That's going to 18-1, 15-3, 15-4, 12 touchdowns. Pretty good for number 2 in Dallas. Pretty good. Okay? And CeeDee Lamb, on the other hand, let's see what CeeDee's done. Dude, your quarterback was 20th in passing. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh, we're better throwing the ball. No, you're not. So what? Really, so what? Dallas has no running game. Here's Lamb, 1102, 1359, 1750, 1,200 yards, 1,200. He's got 38 touchdowns, 700. This guy's got 76 games started and 500 receptions in 5 years. That's pretty remarkable. Hurts better athlete, critical to run game. Okay. Congratulations. Now, how much is Jerry paying you to speak for these bums? When did I say Dallas was a better team than you, you fucking idiot? When did I say that? This guy's dumb. He gets his little panties in a bind when his girlfriend is told he's not better than somebody doing one particular skill set. So he moans. Like all of you do. Do you understand the concept of passing efficiency? Do you understand when you sit back and watch who's a better passer than your guy? Nobody throws the ball for less than $3,000 in today's passing game and says you have a great passing offense. And your receiver is 44th in targets, and your quarterback is 20th in every single stat. And the only reason he has a high efficiency percentage is because he only threw the ball 300 times. Give me a break, guy. Wait a second. Once again, nobody's throwing shade on the Eagle offense. Why are you upset? Because I say Dak's a better passer? What does that mean to win in the Super Bowl? Nothing. Zero. Against the ropes and what? Name me one thing as a skilled player throwing the ball that Jalen does better than Dak. Nothing. Against the ropes. Nobody in their right mind outside would ever say Jalen throws the ball better than Baker Mayfield. He doesn't. Doesn't matter. Dallas got better in the passing game. That's not going to be enough. It's just not. Get this one here. This is always my favorite. Throwing a deep ball, don't win Super Bowls. Tom Brady won 7. Check down Charlie. Once again, nobody on the planet would say Jalen throws the ball better or is more accurate. Nobody. Let's take a look at this. Let's go to Dak. Let's see here. Let's see Dak Prescott. Let's go Dak. Let's see here. Dak Prescott. Let's take a look at this. You really don't know what you're going to get from Dallas. No, you don't, because they don't have a running game. And this is a true statement, too, because of the new head coach and play calling. Yes, I completely agree. Black Pope, I agree. By the way, I hope he wins. Let's see. So here's Dak. 4902, 30 touchdowns. 44-59, 37 touchdowns. Led the NFL again with 36 touchdown passes and 4,500 and 9 picks. 590 attempts. Jalen Hurts will never, ever in his entire career ever throw the ball 500 times. Ever will he throw the ball 500 times. Again, we're talking about passing offenses in the NFL. That's right. Who cares? I was asked the question today, who had the better passing offense in the NFC East? And I said the Cowboys. With the addition of Pickens on the other side, who's got the best offense in the NFC East? The Eagles. Why? Because they run you over. And they could be somewhat efficient when they need to be. But they don't ask the quarterback to throw the ball. What's not a fair statement about that? I'm asking, what did I just say that's not true? No. Once again, I was asked the question. Okay? And what the George Pickens deal meant to the Cowboy passing game. Wasn't there a deal made for a wide receiver today for the Cowboys? They asked me what I thought that meant. Well, it helps the Cowboy passing game immensely because you're not asking Pickens to be the number one guy, but they still got deficiencies in the run game. Cowboys, for them to be successful, that's a nice piece. It totally is. They got to run the ball, though. And if they can't run the ball, you get pressure on Prescott. Hey, how about this? Let me say this to you. I was going to super chat that. At the end of the day, how many people would say this? What do you have Dallas? Do you have Dallas over or under? Here. Let me go here. Philadelphia Eagles over under 11.5 wins. I don't know. That sounds like about right. Maybe right on, maybe over 12. These guys are a bunch of Fanuc sills. When O-line provides you 7, right. That's exactly correct right there. Mikey, thank you. That's right. Hurts has been the best pass. Hurts has sucked in the passing game. A lot of us Eagle fans don't realize you can say Hurts is not elite, but as a world-class roster, but the team can survive his puny 23 TD high points. Jack, I think he's essential in that run game. He's essential. Here, look at this. I get the Eagles over 11.5 wins. I got Washington over 10.5 wins. I got the Cowboys 8.5. I don't know. That sounds about right. New York Giants 4.5. A little bit over, maybe. I don't know. If anything, maybe a game and a half. The Cowboys were at 7.5. Now I'm at 8.5 with them. I'm not telling you the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East. They got a long way to go. They got to get a running game going. Talk to me in week 5 when Pickens slams Dak for throwing interceptions when he's open and you're double talking dumbass. Hey, fucko. Your boy sucks at throwing the ball. On a consistent basis, he sucks throwing the ball. Deal with it. Now, again, it's not what they're asking him to do. As according to you guys, they don't want him to do it. They got Barkley. Okay. Why are you upset? Look at all you guys upset in here. You still got the best offense in the East. Shit, maybe in the league. What are you upset about? Stars taking pay cuts to play with. That's not what that is. That's ridiculous. Why didn't he sign a 3-year contract? How you doing? If he wanted to play with Hurts, he would have signed a 3-year contract with less money. That's such an asshole take. Really? Where's his 3-year? So if you're telling me, if you think the Eagles would have given him a 3-year contract if he decided to take $10 million for the next 3 years, that they wouldn't have signed him to a 3-year contract? What a jackass take this thing is. You got to be kidding me. Give me a break. Play? Yeah, that's right. To play with the guy who's the 30th ranked passer in the game, I'm sure they're taking pay cuts to stay in a winning environment for sure. Absolutely. It ain't the quarterback. He ain't helping them. He barely finds them. You talk. Dallas Goedert is a non-essential guy throughout the 17-game season. What was that one game you had early on in the year? Well, how many yards did he have? 100 or 600 yards this year? Right? Shit, he had 140 of them in one game. I mean, once again, what have we said? Do you really believe that Jalen Hurts is a better passer than Dak Prescott? Holy cow. He's not better than Mayfield. He's not. That's irrelevant. Jalen Hurts to the offense is what JD is to the defense. Yes. Just do your job, know your role, and we're going to be extremely effective. Amen. Absolutely true. And to the point where you're so effective in the postseason, absolutely. Bold, Eagle. Right on, great take. That is a fabulous take. Fantastic. Absolutely. Okay? George Pickens, who? He had Keely. I like that, man. That's a good one. That's right. Get this. I know. Okay. And? What's your point? Once again, let me make this very clear, and I'll talk slow for some of you, because most of you can't hear what I'm saying. I was asked today what the George Pickens move means to the Dallas Cowboys passing game. I said, it makes them the best passing unit in the East. Someone then asked me, well, that means you think they're the best offense. No. The Eagles have the best offense. It was proven February 9th. Because they run the football, and when they ask the guy to make some plays in particular games, he made some plays. But throughout the year, he didn't. His season dictated that, especially after the first 4 games of the year. Took the ball out of his hands and put the ball more in Barkley's hands. It's not a rip. They went to their skill set. They went to their strength. The strength of that offense is Barkley, not Hurts. That's what your problem is. The strength of the offense in Dallas is Dak. And is that good enough? No. Dak needs more help. Dak is not good enough to carry a football team on his back and win a Super Bowl without a running game. I don't really think there's any team that can. Okay? Okay? Now, again, by the way, if I were the Eagles and I were football fans, I would want Dallas to be somewhat relevant. It's about time. That football team hasn't done shit in 2.5 years. About time they did something. But sitting on their hands and doing nothing. And just doing nothing. They're in that cesspool that just keeps going around and around and around. Now, hey, does George Pickens close? Let me tell you this. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb versus Keely Ringo, I'll take that all night. All night. All day and night. Now, the O-line. The Cowboy O-line. A C at best. The Cowboy run game. D. The Cowboy run defense. D. The Cowboy pass defense. D. The Pickens move improved one part of their team. They got a long way to go. And nobody will convince me. Diggs left Allen Hill left Mahomes, but everyone is dying to stay with Hurts. Yeah, they're dying to stay with Hurts. I'm sure they are. 30th best passing offense in the league. I'm sure they're dying to stay. And that's why he signed a 1-year contract. Congratulations to you, guy. It's a 1-year prove-it deal to other teams he's auditioning in a good environment. It's beneficial to the player than to go to Carolina and play with Bryce Huff. Or Bryce Young, excuse me. He's going to win, go in the open market, get a 3-year contract. He ain't dying to stay. Why? Because Dallas Goedert is a target of Hurts's throughout the year. Give me a break. I'm sure all those receivers in Philadelphia love the fact that they don't get the ball thrown to them anymore. Okay? Money narrative didn't work for Sills. Goedert wants another ring. Not true. If that was the case, he would have signed a 3-year contract and gave them a deal like Devontae Smith did, and it would have been a cost-effective deal over 3 years. Instead, he said, I'll do a 1-year deal, go on the open market, and leave. That's exactly what he did. If you want to paint it any other way, go right ahead. Some sort of love affair that the quarterback has with Dallas Goedert and the rest of these guys. That's not the case. He has agents. And the agent and the player looked at it. What's beneficial to me? Is it better to sit in Philly and not go out and take more money somewhere else in a shittier environment? Or should I stay here, play 1 more year, because he was under, by the way, he was under contract. Get this. So according to some of you, he was under contract. And for him to come back, they insulted him and took a shit on him. He had 1 more year left. It wasn't like he was going to stay anyway. You can't make that make sense. And you won't make that make sense. The only way he would have stayed, and that comment would have been that he wanted to play with Hurts, would have been a 3-year deal, and he would have took less than market value the same way Devontae did, and he didn't. Facts. Eagles play 10 games versus playoff teams, plus 2 versus an improved Cowboy passing game. We need to be better than the 30th ranked passing offense. Step up, Hurts. Look, man, I'm going to say this to you, Jack. Until somebody shows me they can stop that run game, I'm going to still run that ball at them. That'd be like asking George Foreman or Mike Tyson, hey, listen, people know you're going to try to throw the haymaker, so you better box more. Why would I do that? Nobody's stopped my power punch yet. And until somebody stops my power punch, I'm going to continue to throw it. Dude, it's up to the other teams to try to adjust, not the Eagles. The Eagles ran a simplistic offense last year. Shit, you could make the argument it was like the Army offense. Run the ball right, run the ball left. And no one could stop it. That's the best offense in football. Low percentage turnovers. You don't have to worry about the ball in the air. And you're running people over. What's the problem? Hey, just because you have the top flight passing offense doesn't mean that you have the best offense. I mean, Jack doesn't get it. You minimize the time your defense has to spend on the field, which actually helps the defense. That's what a running game does. It helps your defense grow. Hey, watch this, guys. Just to give you a little bit of an insight, there's a great one right there by Rashid. Hey, just because Cincinnati's got the best passing offense in all of football, what does it mean? Nothing. It means 9 wins. If it means 9 wins with Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and you got a shitty defense and a suspect O-line, what do you care? And hey, and in all fairness, Sills, what offense would you rather have? Phillies. Phillies. Why? Because you can't stop it. I can stop the passing game. You know how? Pick, drop passes, a sack. Here's how you got to stop Barkley. I'm going to run right here, and you can't stop me. And I don't have to throw the ball. No tips, no INTs, no sacks. Well, he takes a shitload of them, but that's all right. Would you rather be Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts' offense? I'd rather be the Eagle offense. The problem comes down that you guys are mad because of one thing. The offense doesn't run through Hurts. The offense runs through Barkley and the run game. Why? Well, the only thing that was different from 23 in the offense was Barkley. Every single person came back with one addition. Saquon. The one piece you added offensively, Becton, was Barkley. Same personnel in 23. Goedert, Smith, Brown, O-line. Get Becton, Goedert. Barkley was the upgrade. That's what won. And the ability for them to do what? Not put the ball in the air or in harm's way like they did in the first 4 games. Okay? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, guy. I know. What are you talking about? What exactly are you talking about? Super Bowl MVP? I know. What are you talking about? There's been no shade on Hurts. Now we could see how Zach Ertz felt. Win a Super Bowl and get out of here. We don't need you. All right. Dak is a better passer, but will F it up in the playoffs, guaranteed. Agreed. I'd rather have Hurts, who has the clutch gene. I don't know what that means, but sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And thank you for the super. Appreciate that, Philly born. Okay. This is for the first time in my broadcasting 40 years. Why are you upset? What exactly are you guys upset about? Wrong about what, Prince? That Prescott's a better thrower that has led the NFL in passing yards and touchdowns? And that he's a better passer than Hurts? I'm not wrong. Those are facts. Wrong about what? Okay, what am I wrong about? What exactly am I wrong about? Let me ask you this. Do you think Jalen Hurts will ever lead the NFL in passing touchdowns and passing yards? No, he took a shit on him and he took a pay cut. He was never coming back. He was never coming back. And he came back because he wanted to go out and he's going to get a 3-year deal somewhere else. Okay? I was asked the question, Christopher. Once again, I was asked the question if the passing game at Dallas was improved. I said yes. Probably had the best passing attack in the NFC East. What does that mean? Why are you moaning and pointing out? So what? Okay? Get this. Okay. I don't even know what he's talking about. I have no idea what he's talking about. None. I have no idea what this means. He won it. I've admitted it. February 9th. Next. What does that have to do with what I was asked? What are you talking about? Is it just the fact you're butthurt? Sills, Team Goedert had months to find a team willing to pay him. Oh, absolutely true. They couldn't, so Howie exercised his leverage. Right. Philly would have saved $9 million post 6-1, June 1st. It's a business decision. They split the difference. Absolutely right. That's exactly what the agent, the player, and the Eagles did. Right. And he said it'd be healthier for me to stay in a winning environment instead of going somewhere else to take shittier money. Absolutely true. Okay? Butthurt over what? Over what? What are you talking about? Sounds like you guys, look at the post. You guys are the ones that are upset because you can't face the fact that there's other quarterbacks in this league that are superior in throwing the ball than your boy. That's irrelevant, really, to the conversation into winning. I'd get over that if I were all of you. It's really bad for your health. Because at the end of the day, it's team sport. And who cares if a guy throws the football better than the other guy, or is a better passer, or leads the league? You won a Super Bowl February 9th. What are you crying about? I mean, really. Once again, I was asked a simple question, and I answered it. Who's got the best passing offense in the NFC East? Well, if you go by even last year or the last 4 years, it would be the Cowboys. But that doesn't mean they're a better offensive football team. By far. It improved the Cowboys. And again, Jerry's not looking at it right. I think that's a great addition. The Pickens deal. Is that going to put them over 8 games? I don't think so. I heard the guys this morning thinking that the Cowboys now look like a playoff team. I don't believe that. I don't think their O-line's good enough, and I don't think their D-line can stop the run. What are we talking about here? Hey, Texas guy, my friend here. Don't you agree you guys got still some work to do? You got to run the ball better, man. You've got to run the football better for you to be a more effective offense and an efficient offense. You just can't throw the football and think you're going to beat the Eagles. Now, I think the Eagles secondary is questionable. Half that secondary is gone. And to sit there and think Keely Ringo or Tristan McCullum or the kid from Texas is just going to step in and make plays is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So the question marks are going to remain, in my opinion, on that defensive side. How I said yesterday, there's only one way to beat the Eagles. You have to have a running game to keep that Eagle offense on the sidelines. Because if you don't, and they get on that field, they're going to run your defense into the mash tent, and they're going to run that clock off, and they are going to send you home with 55 offensive plays. And you're going to wonder where the game went. Leading the league in passing is irrelevant. Okay? When was the last time the leading passer won a Super Bowl? Okay. Thank you very much for being a 9-month man. I agree. Dak has no more excuses. Tell Mark that later. How about this, Leon? I think they got better in the passing game, but do I think they got better as an offensive unit? No. No. Why are people upset? Because Dak's a better thrower of the ball? Dude, as I said, Aaron Rodgers is a better thrower of the ball. Do you know how many quarterbacks in NFL history, and even when Brady played, are better throwers of the ball than him? What does that have to do with winning? Nothing. So what they're good at so what they're good at one thing. Can they protect? I don't know. Seals, if you can't stop the run and run the ball, you have no shot of winning. Amen. I've been saying that my entire life playing football, from junior football to high school to college to the pros. It's the two fundamentals in winning. Can't stop the run, can't run the ball, it's over. I was asked, okay, excuses for Dak. I'm not giving an excuse. He doesn't have a good enough offensive football team around him yet. They've improved in the passing game. They still got to get a better O-line, and they still got to get a better running back for them to win more than 8 games. I don't know what else to say. Mark Holmes coming out of hibernation. Yes, 4:30. I hear you. I'm looking forward to this too. I can't wait for the season. We have a lot of young guys on defense that's going to eat. Okay, that's a theory, and you're projecting. Not worried about the Cowboys and Pickens. I believe in our guys. Okay, that's good to have. Hey, man, that's good to think like that. Absolutely true. Eagles don't think like that because they want to see it, but it's good to have that optimism. Look at this one. This is so not true. How do you know that? He just got his NFL helmet last week, and he's better already. He's never played in an exhibition football game, and he's better than Gardner Johnson on May 7th. Well, if you're telling me it's only May 7th and we haven't played, and you're calling Andrew Makuba a better ball player than Gardner Johnson, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from? Or is that a theory? Because that's theory. This guy hasn't even been in full gear yet, but he's a better player than Gardner Johnson. Is that right, Rolla? Seriously, Rolla, do you believe that? He hasn't even dressed in full uniform yet, with shoulder pads and full practice. He hasn't had one NFL full practice, and he's better than Gardner Johnson already? Is that right? Hey, Prince, I never said the Cowboys are better than Washington or you guys. Ever. And I won't. How about this? If I look at the Dallas Cowboys, Prince, here's teams in the NFC I would take over Dallas right now. And I'll tell you, the George Pickens deal made him a better passing team. Great. Here's the teams I would take in the NFC over the Cowboys right now. Washington, Philly, Detroit, Green Bay, maybe Minnesota, Tampa, the Rams, Seahawks, Arizona maybe. I mean, what are we talking about here? How are you stopping the run? How are you running the ball? I don't see it. You guys are under some impression because I said they got George Pickens and it improved their passing game. And he's got the best passer in the NFC and Dak, and the highest volume catcher of passes in the NFC and CeeDee Lamb the last 3 years. And you added another guy who's a 1,000-yard guy as a number 2 dude. You think that means that I think that team wins 12, 13 games in the NFC East? Absolutely not. The Cowboys have to have so much go right, and there has to be a lot go wrong in Washington and in Philadelphia for that team to win 10 ball games. I never said that. Like I said, do I think they win north of 8 games? I don't know. East. East. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Agreed. Agreed. And? And? I'm like, okay. So what? They have the best passing offense. What do you care? You had the best passing offense against, and you played against the Bengals. Did it matter? No. You had the best passer in NFL history next to Brady, maybe, in the Super Bowl. Did it matter? No. What do you care? I mean, what do you care? Dallas got better. Washington's gotten better. Does that close the gap? The only way the gap is closed is because of the 11 people you've lost on your roster that was a Super Bowl championship football team. You lost 11 players. Was 12, but Goedert's back. You lost 11 guys. That mattered in your quest to win the Super Bowl. All 11 guys played an essential role in you winning the Super Bowl. And who have you added? Draft picks, free agents. All right. Well, I don't know how much that moves the needle. We'll see, especially when Jahad Campbell may not play this year. Who's the 11? Glad you asked. How's the 11 guys off your roster? Kenny Gainwell, Milton Williams, Oren Burks, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Darius Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Avonte Maddox. All guys played a role in you winning the Super Bowl a year ago, correct? All 11 stepped on the field and were north of 230 snaps. Every one of those guys I mentioned. Shit, Fred was in a 4-game stint against Kayvon Thibodeau, Hendrickson in Cincinnati, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was against Michael Parsons too. These were 11 players you lost. And again, who did you add? Who have you added? Pickett, not so much. Not putting Pickett in there. Pickett really didn't get on the field when it mattered. He got on the field when the things were all wrapped up, and, I don't know. I don't think he brought anything to the team. I really don't. So that's why I didn't put Pickett on there. But I appreciate yeah. Okay. 11 guys. Hey, I think it shows you, again, how strong the unit was a year ago. Is that you overcame a shitty free agent signing. Didn't matter. You overcame it. Because that guy there is financial hell for Howie. I mean, you let a guy go for $1.5 million more in Josh Sweat, who was the defensive MVP in the Super Bowl, to keep, because you have that guy on your roster. And they don't want to spend a ton of money over there. Josh Sweat's still on the roster if Bryce Huff isn't. I think we all agree to that. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. If you want to go by the narrative that Eagle fans use, well, we didn't have to pass because we had Barkley. Let's just say that. That doesn't mean it's a shitty passing. It's just they don't. That's not what they want to do. Get this. And if that's by design, they don't want to do it because they got Barkley. What does that tell you about the quarterback? If they're telling you that we have a running back that we believe more in that can be higher effective in winning games for us than giving the quarterback, we'd rather have that than throw the ball. And we're going to stick with running what we do. And I think you should. Nowhere else in the league is that possible, except Philly. That's a great thing. That's what makes you a one-of. Quarterback doesn't have to win games every week. Every single team in the league, if Dak sucks, that team goes down. If Josh Allen sucks, that team goes down. If Jalen throws for 90 yards, that team's going to win. They proved it in the playoffs. It's a good thing. That's a good thing. Where you don't have to lean. Dude, here, let me give it this to you in a positive light here so that you can understand what I'm saying. I don't believe Josh Allen in Buffalo can win 4 games in a row. I just don't believe it. Jalen doesn't have to. Yeah, 90. Well, here, let's take a look. What was the net yardage in the Ram game? 90? Or what was the first playoff game? Like Green Bay? One of those games was like 90 yards or something. Net yardage. But again, it's a good thing. A quarterback doesn't have. I don't believe Lamar Jackson can win 4 in a row. Hey, by the way, I think that's a merit badge. My quarterback could throw for 90 yards net, and we still win by 10. Let me have that team. That's a great situation to be in when I'm not counting on my guy to win. That's okay. That's a great thing to have. That's why Dallas is nowhere near you. Dude, you think of Dallas and Prescott throw for 90 yards with no running attack? They'll get beat by 40. They'll get beat by 40. Cowboys don't have, the Eagles don't have to do that. I know. Okay. QB is humble enough to sacrifice for the team to win. Tell some of these other diva quarterbacks to learn. These other quarterbacks don't have the organization and the great GM to build the team the right way. It's not a rip on Jalen. Just like when he went to Alabama. They know how to build a team. Jalen's been very good and very fortunate to be in winning situations. Let's face it. Alabama, with him or without him, are going to be a winning situation. Philadelphia is going to be a winning situation with him or without him. Because they were. He didn't change the narrative. Philadelphia's been winning for the last 15 years. Which team's got the best defensive tackles, according to you, because there was a lot of them who got drafted? What team? That's a great question. The Black Pope? Who has the best D tackles in the NFC East? Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles. Tandem? Yes. Philly. No, Carson won home field advantage for you. I don't think the Giants have the best D tackles. I do not. Lawrence, I said tackles, tandem, 2. Okay? Two guys. I'm sorry, but I don't see the needle moving that much with George Pickens as an offensive unit in Dallas. I'd see their passing game getting better, but to me, passing numbers are empty calories. Eagles proved it. So if a guy's a better passer than Jalen, great. Who cares? How did that move the needle? Is Dallas's passing game so effective that it's going to run the Philadelphia Eagles out of a stadium? How? You can't. Here's what Dallas is going to face with the current setup they have, with the talent they have on the team now. Say Dallas gets a 15, 18-point lead on the Eagles. How do you sustain that when you don't have a running attack? The only thing the Eagles have to do to Dallas right now is just be patient with them. If they did jump out to a lead, Eagles will catch them in the fourth. But that's a fact. Hey, agreed. Agreed. I never thought that the Pickens move moved the win total that much. Maybe a half a game. Maybe. Sills, they had a really good draft. Yeah, okay. Well, if I'm going to sit here and talk about the Eagle draft picks like that, I'm going to talk about the Cowboy guys the same way. And they got way more holes than the Eagles. Here, let me show you something else. I had a conversation with Coach Johnson last night about the value for the draft. Let me take this off here. How do you guys think he did in the draft? Here's the numbers. How do you guys think you did? How do you guys think the Eagles did in the draft? You got a guy at the first pick, might not play this year. A Z minus, okay? A minus, okay. B plus, I wish we kept our third and moved up again. Well, that was for John Dotson. B minus. All right, let's take a look at that. And I'm going just on the value chart. I have no idea, and nor do you, what these players are going to look like. So there's no negativity on skill set here. I'm talking value on what Bledsoe and what the Eagles and what the Bears, Lions, Steelers all use this chart and then the evaluation of ranking. I've showed you this before. It's the talent value chart when you draft. Okay? Nobody's throwing shade here. So here, Yahad Campbell, they had a ranking on him on 14. He was picked 31st. So the Eagles get a plus 17 on that. When you look at the value of what you picked up, that's a plus 17. Okay? Just in the value of the player in where you selected him. That's a great pick. I mean, you get 17 points on that. Okay? Seals, do you really think Campbell doesn't fit in? No, I didn't say that. I said it's going to be finding a place for him to fit in. You can find a place for anybody, my friend. Okay? I never said that. Andrew Makuba was ranked 72nd by Bledsoe in the Philadelphia Eagles. The pick was 64. You lose 8 points there. This is a player here that many people had selected at around to go 72 on the talent board, that he'd go 72. You took him earlier. You kind of jumped the gun there a little bit because you had a need at corner because of Ringo. Because, my opinion, I don't believe that Vic believes that Kelee Ringo's the guy. I like that. Thank you. That was from yesterday. Thank you very much, Jalen. So that's minus 8 points. Trey Robinson was ranked about like 110 on the talent value chart. The pick was 111. Okay? So you lose one there. It's all right. You lose a little bit, but that's right around the number. So you're good. You're not pissing on that. Munden, he was projected to be around 123. You got this player at 161. That's a 38-point improvement. So you basically got a player here with the 123rd pick, and you took him 161. This player was supposed to go in the third round. So you gained about 38 points there. So that's pretty good. And by the way, what I'm talking about is, did you draft these players to where their skill set will fit on the talent value board? This tells you a little bit, did you overdraft or underdraft? So far, Jahad Campbell, you got this guy on a premium pick at 31. He should have went 14th. Okay? The Makuba pick is a little bit of a reach. Not a lot. 72, 64. I can live with that. I think that's what Howie saw with that too. Because he uses the talent value chart. I don't think that's awful. Then when you start getting down in the lower picks like 5, 6, and 7, now you're taking more of a shot in the dark and you're throwing darts at this here. Again, I'm not ripping any pick. I'm talking about the value of the player on where he was evaluated and where you took him. So when we go back 3 years from now, was this player overdrafted or underdrafted? Like Milton Williams and Josh Sweat were underdrafted. They were value picks. Those guys were first and second rounders. Again, not a rip. The Kendall kid, Drew Kendall from BC, he was ranked about 200. You took him 168. Again, you're talking fifth rounders now. You're talking, what do you like with the skill set of the player? And because the Eagles hadn't really addressed the offensive line until day 3, they started looking at guys that Stoutland liked. And they started looking at a guy because, again, I think also that's a need pick. That tells me a little bit more of how he jumped on the need. He did it with Makuba, and he did it here at center because they don't want to pull over if Cam Jurgens ends up getting hurt. They don't want to bring Landon Dickerson down. They want to get a true center in there. Okay, so that's minus 32. So you overdrafted him a little. Again, that's today on May 7th. This guy may turn out to be Jason Kelce. Kyle McCord. This is a good pick. Check this out. This guy was evaluated to be a third-round draft choice, 131. You took him at 181. That's plus 50. That's why the Eagles took that player. And they're going to move Tanner McKee because this player has a higher value. And teams around the league see that, how he got a steal with the 131st, basically, guy that they had evaluated. All the teams across the league evaluate him at 131. How he got him at almost 190. You underdrafted. It's great. That's a great pick for a quarterback. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if you understand. Here, maybe I'm speaking a little bit over some of your heads. You basically drafted. What round was Kyle McCord drafted? Was he drafted in the 5th? You basically drafted a 3rd-round quarterback in the 5th round. Would you take that deal? Well, how he jumped up and grabbed him. He was taken in the 5th. Okay, think of this. You drafted a 3rd-round quarterback in the 5th round. How do you pass on that? You can't. That's a great pick. 3rd round. Joe Montana was drafted, and so was Russell Wilson in the 3rd round. And if you try to move that player now, how we would expect a 3rd rounder back right now. Miles Hinton was projected around 229, 230, depending on what service you look at. You took him at 191. I think this was a Jeff Stoutland pick because it's minus 38 in the value chart. I think that Jeff Stoutland looked at this kid, looked at his heritage, his pop, where he played at Michigan and Stanford. I heard that comment that John McMullen said he thought about quitting. He thought about quit. Every player thinks that when you're transferring. I did. And I was the 56th player taken. If you don't have that thought one time or another in your head, it's a common thing to think that. Shit, there was a conversation that I had with my uncle that I was going to go play in the USFL in '85. Or I was going to go play in Canada for the Argonauts. Or I think Saskatchewan, one of those 2 teams. And I had a tryout. I mean, like I said, I showed a picture of my aunt with Trump. They were trying to recruit me for the New Jersey Generals when he owned the team. Yeah, but every player thinks that. So I'm not concerned with that, especially when he played on a national championship offense that won a title. Again, this is Stoutland pick. You could see it here. Minus 38. Okay, when you're down in the 6th round, you're looking at a kid and you're throwing a dart. Okay? Yeah, Herschel was on that team. Doug Flutie was on that team. Ken Hall was on that. No, Ken Hall was in Philly. He was on the Stars. Okay? I did play in Canada. I did play in the CFL. Sills, you will say that the NFC East has improved. Will you say that the NFC East has improved? Yes. If the Eagles went out and finished a 14-3 record, what would you attribute that to? They're just better. And the gap wasn't closed enough. And the defense came through. And they matured quicker in the secondary and in the D-line. That's what I would say. If they go out 14-3. It would be drafting, coaching, and the players came through like they did a year ago. Your safety, your corner, your 2 defensive linemen, your rotating linebackers. And again, Campbell probably won't play this year. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see where that lands. What has Nick done to this team right now, in your opinion, Prince? What impact has he done right now in rebuilding the team and putting anything that he's done right now in this offseason? Name me one thing Nick has done. One thing. He didn't pick the players. He's not coaching on defense. What would he know? He got them focused? Okay. Sure. He got him focused. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. He got him focused. I'm sure he's in the ear of Jalen Carter every day. He had him focused. Yeah. Yeah. Did he have that 30th ranked passing game focused? Sure he did. Hey, Nick, do me a favor. Just stay in your sandbox. We'll be good now. Let's see here. The kid from Texas, that offensive tackle, he was ranked 92. You guys took him at 207. I mean, again, when you're 5, 6, and 7, you know, you're looking at a particular skill set of a guy. Again, no, not throwing any. I don't know. These guys have never had a practice game yet. These guys have never practiced in full gear. I don't know. No idea where they are. Battle Royale will be at 4:30. Okay? Yards per game is why they were 30th. Yeah. 30th ranked passing game. Okay? So, what do you care? You won a Super Bowl. What do you care if you're 30th or 32nd? So let me ask you this. That guy who just posted that. Do you really believe the Eagles are comfortable with that? You think they're cool with that? Scared of Tampa with Vita and Watson. Well, blitz hurts. Oh, he's not very good at teams that blitz, and that's exactly what Todd Bowles does. Okay? See here. So, again, to go back to where we were, and as we said about the George Pickens, moving needle for me. Just, you think that made the Cowboys better? Yeah, passing game. But do you think that made them better as a team? No. No, I don't. Half a win? Who's running the ball? Who's in your old line? I mean, dude, Dallas got a long way to go before they're going to hang with Philly as a football team. Because let me tell you something. If Dallas, once again, how many people in here agree? There's not a chance in hell Dallas could slow down that running game. I don't believe that. You know what they're going to do? They're going to look right at that defense and do this, Philly. Well, you think I'm going to throw the ball? Why would I? I'm going to look at that guy right there and go, I'm going to run that ball right down your throat, guy. And you see that time on the clock? By the time you get the ball back, you'll be eating Cheetos in your car. Game's over. George Pickens. Yeah, it made him a better passing team. Great. Okay. One more time. How'd that work for Cincinnati? Cincinnati's got the best passing attack in football. Won 9 games. Great. Phenomenal. Wonderful. Hey. Tremendous. Isn't it true, Prince? Hey, Prince, isn't it true the NFL is weird? Guy can have more talent than a guy, but the guy could be a guy like Hurts and go, oh, well, I don't have to win 4 games in a row. That's a luxury of playing in Philly. If you're in Baltimore and Buffalo, you got to win 4 in a row. And I don't believe those guys can do it. I've never seen them do it. Hey, and I've never seen Hurts play 4 games in a row in the playoffs and win. And carry a team. But he don't have to. That's the beauty. And that's a good thing. I mean, I want to be the best at everything. Well, he's the best at everything. That's the Met Gala and being the man of the week time guy and all that and shit like that. He's great at that now. I mean, Mr. Hands Off or whatever the shit it is. All right. Without further ado, hey, by the way, have you not checked out John McMullen lately? Xander Krause does this. Hey, John, did we get better? No. And Xander starts laughing. And I'm sitting there going like, wait a minute. The guy's sitting next to him. Anybody thinks they got better and that Keely Ray. I'm like, wait a minute here. My fucking ears are on fire over here. Hell's going on down? I'll use a Lombardi line. What the hell's going on down there? Kidding me? All right. Without further ado, by the way, Battle Royale is back. That will be at 4:30 with Mark Holmes, who's finally got something to cheer about. I think it's a small needle mover. Okay, I really do. I don't think it's this play. I heard the guy that had on, oh, yeah, the Cowboys now playoff team. I'm like, playoff team? Who's blocking? Who's stopping the run? Lazy Smith? I'm like, what are you talking about here? All right. Without further ado. Oh, I got a great line for you guys before I bring Xander Krause on. He's going to love this. So tomorrow, Clancy Bowden's going to be on with us from Morgan & Morgan. He's working on bringing Big Sills to Philly and me broadcasting from the Morgan & Morgan studios. They're in the offices at Morgan & Morgan, right there in downtown Philly, with old Ben Franklin looking over Sills' shoulder. How you doing? Holy shit, maybe Xander finally buy me a cheesesteak. All that being said, here he is from Birds 365, Big Z. Xander Krause, how you doing?
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
What do you like that about, huh, man? What about
the last cheesesteak I bought you is still rotting in my car?
How about Clancy?